Personal magnetism, or self-attraction, attention, or the energy that comes off from an individual, is a silent, invincible force from the human soul. It is power that has been conserved to the use of strong-minded people. It is that refined, unseen influence that enables many people to control those around them. This force is constantly emanating from every person, his own particular personal magnetism. It is this particular invincible element which enables the faithful dog to scent and trace his master through a crowded parade. It enables a hunting dog to follow and run a wild animal to his hole. It is this same magnetism that enables a trained German Shepherd to run the criminal to finding them. Personal magnetism is the medium by which and through which people are attracted to or resisted by each other. Every human being is surrounded by an envelope composed of fine, etheric, or heavenly matter. We can refer to this force or energy as aura or feelings. It is this finely constituted envelope which stands around an individual that is sensed by others as soon as theirs and his aura encroach upon each other. This interpenetration of each aura or feelings will cause many people to make up their minds at once as to whether they like or dislike a stranger. For they cannot explain why, but they have certain feelings which either attract or resist them from a person whom they have not met before. Naturally, one would never want to impose his will upon another because his body and soul are not acting harmoniously. For wherever there is inharmony of any kind within oneself, there is a loss of power, magnetism, and positive vibration. We can follow this statement that sex attraction is very similar, where the question of love between sexes, regulated to a higher part of nature, if negative, there will be less marital friction, divorces, and domestic trouble all the time in that relationship. The nature of personal magnetism is now being the key of success in our dealings in this world. So therefore, integrity, scientific concentration, and mental discipline, coupled with literal faith and confidence in oneself, are the talisman or charms used to obtain personal magnetism. Success in our world affairs does not always depend upon intelligence or upon our education. We have observed the success of men and women of magnetic personalities. Their strength depends entirely upon their mental or intellectual forces or belief in what they do. All persons, to a greater or lesser degree, possess these hidden forces, but a few have developed them to their fullest extent, either through study of concentration or belief in self. Some people experience the blaze of personal magnetism by others believing in them because of something they may have accomplished by chance. They then eventually develop belief in themselves. In this case, the power of personal magnetism may not work in other areas of life, but true power of personal magnetism works in all spheres of life. So let us consider the magnetism of a captivating young lady passing by that is invested with a delicate, indescribable charm, and that charm being so delicate, intangible, and appealing that the effects of her far-reaching influence is felt by everyone she comes in contact with. This is the same force that radiates from the loving parent's heart to the children. It it also emanates from the powerful public speaker to his audience, as it does from a teacher whose strong magnetic personality gave him discipline over his students. This invincible influence goes forth unseen, but is ever felt in the gentle tone and friendly cares of a skilled nurse. This delicate influence is felt by the very presence of the trusted doctor, whose magnetic looks and reassuring words give his patient new energy, life, and hope, even if he's not saying the truth. In every sphere of life, the cultivation and development of magnetic qualities are of the highest importance, as this force is hidden in every human soul, a sacred gift and priceless jewels, whose tireless cultivation always give benefit. This magical power belongs to the inward man or soul, whose spiritual strength, faculty, competence is best motivated into action by intense concentration and earnest intentions, combined with spoken words in which there is a wonderful hidden quality whereby you can influence others. Surely the strength of man's word is so wonderful when pronounced with a fervent faithfulness of mind and soul. The three evangelists, or what we call disciples, relate how Jesus appeased the troubled waters and rolling deep. This story is found in the New Testament book of Matthew, Mark, and Luke, where Jesus, who was asleep in the hidden part of the ship when there arose a great tempest on the sea, the wave beating into the ship so that it became full with water. He, Jesus, arose and rebuked the winds and the sea, and there was great calm. Christ spoke first to his disciples, calming their fears and agitation with words. His magical address of "Peace, be still" to the furious elements which caused a great calm was a revelation to them. And then the men wondered, saying, "What manner of man is this, that even the winds and the sea obey him?" Christ then again turned to them and more deliberately rebuked the lack of faith. And he said to them, "Why are ye fearful, O ye of little faith?" Now, this unseen force of nature provided by God was constituted at first as man's servant. But today, this force has now risen up against man and has become the instrument of man's hurt, his trouble and sorrow, because we remain ignorant of the nature and use of this ever-potent force called personal magnetism. Now, if you are listening to this episode, you will realize that man is not by nature a creature of circumstances. And so we should always endeavor to be master of the event or occasion, ever reclaiming and reasserting our intellectual magnetic possibilities. For one of the greatest powers with which man or human being are endowed is sympathy or love. And there is by no means too much in this word today. Sympathy suggests a recognition of the unity of all with the one, and that brotherhood is not a matter of sentiments, but of great fact in nature. Sympathy, however, is not that sickly sentimentality that flows over or losing our balance when death occurs. It is essentially something stronger, something inherent with power. Wherever there is a great love flowing out to another person, that character is strong and commands the respect of all. For everyone admires strength, for this strength is love. To be thoroughly vitalized and energized, to possess executive ability and be able to attain the function or power of executing and performing things that counts in life There is no more effective method of attaining it than by concentration and fading oneself, which is the process to the success of personal magnetism. So folks, I look forward to the distant day when practical thinking shall have acquired such stability of character and usefulness as to encourage this method of development as a universal acceptance, when its advantages shall be looked at as the main support of good health, sound morals, prudent judgment, rational philosophy, and true religion. For this is the true power of personal magnetism.